Like Stranger Things is named far more appropriately based on what's happening in the LCK at the moment. This is going to be the matchup, Sandbox up against KT. And Sandbox Gaming, they bounced back after their loss against Griffin. Quite strange, and his damage percent being 28%. That's not a reflection of him, that's a reflection on the rest of his team smashing people in their lanes earlier on than most of the others, because these 30-plus percentage markers for the 80 carries are based on teams that play a lot slower, and it's hard for an 80 carry on a team full of guys that want to go in.
To direct target bans more so at the opposing team, rather than at the way that the meta is right now. And so red team, they're the ones that have to worry about Ezreal, Lucian, Karma, Cassiopeia, those type of champions, whereas blue has a lot more freedom. And so for Sandbox, we were talking about
should be the week after, I'd assume. But I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
because I know that we're supposed to get hotfix patch next week, theoretically. But it might be that we get 9.4 instead. Has been a counter pick for a very long time, but then it goes back to the tried and true. The Kai's going to be picked up. Saw a Blade of the Ruin King version by Viper in our last series, which was very fun. But BF saw a double pickaxe that we've seen rise to popularity. Means that you get a very early Q evolve, and does help her get online a little bit sooner. It really does feel like the wild card on the side of KT, but their composition based on tier list certainly looks better. Let's see whether they can pilot it well as we hit the rift.
in mid, leading up to this.
Well, he's going to be able to get that spell shield out. He loses out on the health trade. His Terrify being held on to. He used it already, as now Joker's hanging around. Ghost uses the heal, is on fleek, trying to get the hell out of here. Zenit wants to find this kill, and Joker looks to be the first option. Burns to death as PDD grabs first blood. And if there's ever a thing to be scared of, it's a fed PDD in the early game for KT.
Yeah, in the LCK, I feel like most games are nothing is happening at all. For the first like 15-20 minutes.
As PDD comes on over, wants to try and steal this one out of the way. Stands United going to be used on fleek. Tries to get the stun, but won't actually land it. Devour from Snowflower gets him over there at Sandbox. Do lock down the Rift Herald. Smeb comes in and just eats the Camille for breakfast. Joker gonna get tagged up there by the Trouble Bubble, and then the Abyssal Voyage delivers Zenit a kill underneath the turret. Easy one there onto the Shen. As Dove doesn't even know that he's playing a team game by the looks of things. Terrify is going to land, and that's a special delivery on the kill for Umti.
I like the hula hoop that Umti did right before he just dogged down Dove right at the end. And now, this is only a...
So I entirely agree. It's feeling very worrisome for them to try and get back, as Distortion going to be utilized there as BDD tries to throw out some more skills. And Umti, he can just dive on top of anyone who has a low health bar. Oh, this counter gang positioning's really nice. Paranoia comes in. More as a deterrent, actually. Bottom side of the map. Rotations from KT Rolster.
And they're going to pick up a lot of key objectives. They lose the top turret, and it can be a Zoe. I think going to end up going Banshee's Veil. Okay, Stand United and on fleek here.
Yeah, diving on forward. We've got the snare up, and Smeb goes golden underneath his turret, buying a lot of time, but doesn't have the purge cooldown back up, meaning he will fall. Summit locks down that come on over. Dove dives forward, but takes a full Q to the face from Zenit, who supercharges himself backwards. Spirit's Refuge is good from Joker, as Umti needs to get devoured underneath this turret. A lot of damage done to that inner turret, but it isn't going to fall just yet. BDD's bubble.
For either team. And Sandbox, they're looking to get frisky.
Yeah, Supercharger is in there. Devour's going to be utilized, but immediately the Tahm Kench falls, and the Sivir picks up the Kai'Sa. Bottom lane now eradicated from KT. They're shaking their heads. They don't know what the heck just happened.
Well, I think that Twitch chat probably knows they were cosplaying Aframu and Bang, standing all the way up in mid lane without any real purpose. They just get picked off and deleted. They got sandwiched like they were getting flanked by hyenas.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know. But if KT are gonna just step recklessly forward like this.
Yep, they do it again, and that almost is a dead Kai'Sa in the belly of the Tahm Kench. Is still gonna burn down to the Ignite of the Shen, and already it's two already dead for Sandbox Gaming. And KT Rolster, they just can't team fight at this stage of the game, and it's just the Kai'Sa getting caught.
Yeah, they seem absolutely clueless on where to be standing and what the opponents need them to do. And we see this all the time from teams in every region, where they start doing what they want to do rather than what they need to do, or what the opponent doesn't need them to do.
Yeah.
You ask Sandbox, hey Sandbox, what do you want us to do right now? They're like, yeah, if you'd like
Just
a
wander
team
up
fight.
the mid lane and throw your 80 carry at us, please, if you don't mind. Snowflower eats a Shen as Joker is going to be the sacrificial lamb, looking to try and get out, but they just take the Baron. It's going to be the LeBlanc that picks it up, showing that there wasn't any 50-50 happening. And he didn't have flash, so couldn't get over the back of the pit. And they'll sacrifice Joker, and they'll pick themselves up a Baron. And when it comes to trades, this is one that I know is worth it for Sandbox.
Here we go. There's the Kaisa walking up to the wave before hers is even in the lane yet. Smeb, quick to accompany, and Sandbox, no stranger to pounce on these mistakes from KT. And I mean, you have to give it credit. You gotta give credit to them. They're in position. They know what they want to do and what they have to do if they are gonna bring home this game. And they're doing it. And I mean, KT.
Yeah.
That coach is not looking.
No. Well, I mean, he's like
motionless.
Well, why is the enemy 80 carry into us? Like, why is this? I don't understand.
It's like they're
Am I supposed to congratulate my
fixing.
team now? Like,
Yeah.
what's happening? No, we don't say that word on this broadcast, okay? We don't say that. As there's a world ender on the bottom side of the map. The world may actually be over here for Summit, but does go into that passive on Fleek, wants none of it, as Umbral Dash gets him over, and Stance United is there. Summit eventually is going to get chomped down in that grinder, but he has a GA. He's taking a heck of a lot of time, and in the meantime, Ghost is taking in a turret in mid. Inner turret's already fallen. Top side of the map to Dove, right? Like, they almost suicided at the beginning of this, and then KT offered them a lifeline. They threw them the lifeboat, and that's just not what we've come to expect from our 2018 champions. Yes, it's not the same KT as what we saw last year, but it's a lot worse than we'd expect.
You could even argue that KT rolled the best dragons that they could hope for, outside of maybe an Infernal first.
Yeah.
But definitely Double Mountain. Extremely scary, and they just did not know how to manage the side lanes and utilize it. And, you know, the chain reaction off that Smeb death in bottom lane, resulting in the 2 turrets falling, the loss of tempo, and then because of that, not being able to manage the side lanes properly, it's all just a chain reaction getting to this point. And, you know, 13 minutes into the game, I put hope into KT, and I guess this is what it feels like.
Well, Paranoia is going to be thrown down as Umti explodes. Redemption comes in for KT, but that's probably the most damage that they've actually done in this fight thus far, as Ghost grabs the kill onto Umti after he respawns from the GA. We got low health bars, but Sandbox have already taken all the inhibitors. They're happy to take just a kill thrown at them. They'll go back, buy a whole bunch of items, and finish this game.
This, and Nocturne ulted into that like I just walked into that Bloodthirster Phantom Dancer predicament, so not the best situation for KT. And
Umti walked into a bar and said ouch.
Yeah. Lights went out. Except it was for KT's team, as this is looking to be the Doom push.
We got double super creeps in every single wave. It's just Nexus turret standing between Sandbox and a Game 1 victory. Here against KT Rolster. One of their last remaining matches here in the first round robin, looking to only fall to Griffin as Summit. They're throwing a lot of buttons at him at World Ender. Just comes back off cooldown and Umti goes golden, but is it actually going to be enough? The answer is a very easy one, and it's a no, as Dove grabs that kill, and now KT Rolster health bars are being decimated, and Sandbox are able to sacrifice all that they need to. Summit doesn't go down to the passive. He's basically got no health, but he can still do damage to these Nexus turrets. Smeb finds himself as the last man standing, but he's not going to be standing for much longer, as he's going to be out of this game. Nexus falls, and Sandbox steal the win from KT Rolster.
Steelbox Gaming is what that just was. They took advantage of every mistake that KT was willing to make.
And that was after Sandbox felt like they'd made the most mistakes in the early game. You know, they threw everything away in that Rift Herald battle, and the Rift Herald didn't actually net them all that much on the top side of the map. It was actually after turret plates that had got thrown down, so not exactly a whole lot of value out of that one. So instead, it was just them losing a bunch of kills. It was 0-4 in the early game.